didn't actually jump into doing no-go suits straight away. I quit from the corporate job and took a part-time job,
Ah, that's
um,
good.
which, served its purpose while I was there. But it also taught me, I'd been out of small business for a little while because I'd been in corporate. So it got me back into that mindset as well. And I had an awesome colleague there who kind of pushed me to do this even more as well. She was amazing. And yeah, so I took that part-time job, and every morning I would, listen to podcasts on the way to work in the car and get more and more excited about eventually doing my own thing. And then it was just time one day to leave that small job, or that part-time job, and do it myself. I had a bit of an idea of what I wanted to do, didn't really have a client base,
Mhm.
had still some connections from when I had run a small mortgage broking business before. So I kind of jumped back into those connections that I'd made, 8 years earlier.
Mm.
And strangely enough, some of those people are not only my best client, but my biggest advocates today. So those relationships can last.
I love that you said that because it's interesting. Sometimes people think like a career path or a business path is linear. It's just like I woke up in the morning out of high school, I had the right idea, I launched the business, and I was a giant success. And I'm like, I've never talked to anyone that that's what the path was. And one of the things I always say to people is like your first idea may or may not be right, but like don't discount the skills and the networks that you get from every experience, whether it be a career, a failed business, an event, like whatever it is, you can always bring something into your next move.
Yeah. And I find a lot of entrepreneurs, even though that
Yes.
word's a bit ugh, a
It's
lot of
really got a
us,
bad rap, hasn't
it
it?
does, just like authentic.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. But I do find a lot of business owners, especially small business owners, have jumped from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next.
mm,
And you're exactly right. If we do completely sever ties with everybody and everything we've come across during that prior project, you're not doing yourself any favors, because you never know. They might have been, a person in your circle for that particular thing, but who's to say that they don't need what you do now as well, or know someone that needs what you do now?
oh my God, you just reminded me. I literally just had a call this week with a woman who I think I worked with on an influencer campaign at my other business scrunch like 6 years ago, who she's now left, had babies, and started her own business and wanted to talk about joining Spark. And I was like, that is wild but it just shows you how small the world is.
Yeah.
And you've got to foster human relationships and be a good human.
Yes. Yeah. You try not to burn those bridges. Look, small business isn't the same as corporate. In corporate, people move on and you don't ever generally see them again.
Mm,
But in small business, you're right, it's a small world.
yeah,
You come
so
across
small.
people again and again and again.
Yeah, and I just love what you said. You just never know where people will end up, and it's not always that they will be a customer, but they might know somebody. It's interesting even I know we always talk about Instagram, but LinkedIn's probably my favorite place because that's almost the home for all of the versions of Danny and all of her jobs and all of her businesses. That's where like all the people are. And so yeah, when you post something, I see sometimes somebody I know tag someone like, oh, I know somebody who does that. Like they might be someone that I worked with in corporate that still works in corporate, but they've got a friend who's a business owner or whatever. So, and they
Yeah.
know me as a good person from when they worked with me. So then they trust me to recommend someone to me. So I just think it's so powerful that we look after our networks.
Yeah, absolutely.